Getting the Edge with Kelly Wilson.
And my husband is a tremendous treasure to me. He is, he's fun, he's exciting. I need exhilaration in my life, and he was a car racer. And
I don't think I knew that.
Oh, yes, as a, well, I'll get to that. So, how did I meet him? I was driving to law school across the Howard Franklin Bridge, and I would get to law school at 5 o'clock in the morning so I could do my studies in the library, and then I would move on to classes, and then I'd come back at 12 o'clock in order to go to work. So,
which is when you worked for USF for 10 years earlier on.
No, actually, I was finished with I was finished with USF, and I had taken on some jobs. Well, I was doing some side jobs for USF and some side jobs for who else was I working for? I had several law firms here that were asking me to do research for them.
Okay.
So I would come back here and do that. In any event, so 5 o'clock in the morning, I had to be at law school in order to get all of this done. And I have a very heavy right foot.
Imagine that, right?
Imagine that. And so I had a CB in my car. Now, I wouldn't speak on the CB because, after all, that's that funny language, breaker, and I'm not going to do that. So I decided, well, I will have the CB, and they always say if there's a Smoky somewhere on the road, and they will tell what mile marker it is, and so I'll make sure that I'm not going too fast when I get to that location.
Is that from like Smokey and the Bandit?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. And so I was listening one morning, and a guy started talking to me on the CB, and he says, "The girl in the little white Toyota." And I said, "Oh, no, I am not answering. I don't know who that
You're
is."
probably like, "Oh, my goodness, I'm in a little white Toyota."
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he knows enough about me that I'm in a white Toyota.
Right.
Of course, I had this big CB antenna on the back, so it did, in fact, kind of show that I had some kind of electronics in the car. In any event, this goes on for a while, and this guy happened to work for Wayne over in St. Petersburg, and he says, "You know, I've been talking to this girl in this car, and she will not respond to me." And Wayne, of course, said, "Oh, well, she'll talk to me." Now, today this would be stalking, but, you know, back then it was not. And so he would start coming by, and he saw me one morning, and he started talking to me, and then he could talk to me every morning. Well, but I wouldn't talk back. So he just talked away, and I ignored him. And by the way, the custodian at the law school, I told him about this, and he says, "I have a base station in my car, in my office. I will listen for you in the morning. If anything goes wrong, you just holler, and I will send help."
Oh my goodness! You had multiple people.
Well, I had my eye in the sky, and I felt pretty comfortable. And so Wayne, of course, changed his tactics because I'm obviously not going to talk to him. And he says, "Look, I would like to have breakfast with you at the scenic overlook on the other side of the Howard Franklin Bridge. So I have a coffee and I have a granola bar." And I thought, I
Breakfast
have
of
got to
champions.
see this guy.
Yeah.
I just have to see what he looks like. So it was dark, pretty dark. And so
I guess it would be at that early in the morning.
so he pulled up in front of me, and I was way back from him, and he opened the car door, and he started walking toward me, and I thought, well, he doesn't look like an axe murderer. I guess he's okay. And I didn't get out of the car. I stayed in the car. He talked to me through the window, and we decided that we would have a date later on, and that's what happened. 7 years later, we were married, and that was 36 years ago.
That's crazy. Congratulations.